Welcome to Gandia Marine. This YouTube channel will be for whatever boat projects I come across and things I fix on boats. This channel will focus on entertainment and for learning different ways of how each boat or engine works. Thanks for clicking on this video and be sure to subscribe for more content coming out soon. Hey, what's up guys, this is Gandia Marine's first video, and today we're working on a really clean, like this motor. It's a 2016 Suzuki 50 horsepower 2016. I don't think it even has 100 hours on it yet, because he told me on the gauge it doesn't say anything about having 100 hours. I think it had, last time they checked, it had like 60 or 50. But he wants a lower not a lower unit change, my bad, an impeller change. Oil has only been changed once in his whole life, so told him, you should change the oil because either every year or every 100 hours, and this motor's been sitting. So we got the impeller and the oil filter and everything, and the oil's in the back of the little side by side over there. And yeah, let's just let's get to work. So on this lower unit, it's gonna be a 12 millimeter wrench to pull these bolts off. Make sure you re-grease them before you put them back on, for later times when you take off the lower unit again, it doesn't seize up on you and it'd be really difficult to take off. And I'm gonna show you a little trick real quick, but I'm gonna go a little easy. It's probably gonna be a longer video because I had my wisdom teeth removed like 2 days ago, so I don't want to be stressing myself. But the trick is, before you take off the lower unit, leave like one bolt like halfway on. That way you can hold the lower unit in place if you have to disconnect any like speedometer hoses or anything like that. These bolts, this lower unit has probably haven't come off ever. I'm pretty sure he told me the impeller's never been changed. So, and he told me it wasn't pumping water, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's up. Look at these bolts. They don't have any grease on them. That's insane. No grease. All right, let's get all this oil off of here. Look at that. Extra oil. Or not oil, I mean grease. Y'all get what I mean. Oh, I got it all on me, man. We're unlinking the shift shaft because it holds the lower unit in place as well. And this is what, oh, okay, it's a smaller one. This is what makes your lower unit shift into gear. This little rod pushes down because it's linked from here and here, and that's what changes the gear. That's what makes your outboard go, forward or whatever. Since I don't have a rubber mallet, get wood. Just like that, it starts to separate. Now, if it doesn't come off completely, what you could do is that you're gonna screwdriver and you just gently put it in between the seam and pry on it. But I don't want to do that. This one's loose already. So we're good. Now it's free. I forgot to mention in the video that when you're pulling down the lower unit, you want to keep it straight going down because there's just a very long shaft that comes out of the power head. You'll see it in the video. Now if we look here, this is where the impeller sits. This is where your power head goes through to. We're gonna grease this up, and we're gonna re-grease this up, the shift shaft. We gotta take off these bolts and get this impeller off. When you're doing an impeller, always want to try using a 1/4 inch drive. 1/4 inch, because it'll give you more feel. It'll let you know if you're gonna strip the bowl or not, which is really good because you don't want to strip this. So yeah, let's get this off. That right there. Doesn't matter what order you take it off on. Now for this one, we're not gonna heat up the oil, it's fine. But what you wanna do, you wanna lift the motor up so all the oil will drain into the oil pan. Give it like a couple seconds. And after that, oh shit, okay. After that, what you're gonna do, lower the engine. And on this specific motor, there's a little, it's already, the oil pan bolt is already outside for us. So we don't have to do anything, right? But if it's not for you, most of the time Suzuki's, this is the bolt we have to crack for the oil to drain out. It's gonna spew right out of here. And after that, we're gonna take off this oil filter. This is the oil filter. This is gonna spew right out. Make sure you have a catch can. And most of the time, if yours doesn't show up like this, like it's already out, you have to remove this side piece, which is a bolt, a screw here, a screw on the sides, and you should be good. So the inside doesn't look that bad. It's not worn, super worn. We're replacing all these gaskets, so this is all gonna go brand new if it wants to come off. Super worn. These fins are not supposed to be curved. When you take off your old impeller, make sure you check to see if any of these fins are cracked and they have like broken pieces off of them, because that would mean that those pieces went up into your power head, and that's probably why you're not getting water coming out, and it could be really serious. So make sure that doesn't happen. So look, this is the difference between a new impeller and an old one. This is gonna pump a lot more water, because basically what this does, this is the pickup, right? All the water, this is the water pickup. All that water from the ocean or freshwater, wherever you go, will be picked up here. It'll go up, and this impeller spins it around and creates this pressure, and that pressure spins it up through this water tube. This is the water tube. It goes straight up into the power head, and it cools the block. It cools the pistons, it cools the whole block. If that is not working, if you're not seeing water coming out of a little pee hole on the side, that's bad, because then you're gonna have an overheating issue. Just trying to find a place where I can pry on it, not bend it. You gotta be careful, you don't want to bend this. Okay. Another thing you want to be careful about is this key. You don't want to lose this key. There's a little key in here. It's kind of seized. Lightly tap it with a hammer and it'll free it up. Just like that. I don't have pliers, but I have a channel lock. Here's the key. You don't want to lose this key. Okay, this tiny little key, this is what holds your impeller in place. This little tiny key, you don't want to lose this, because if you don't have that in there, then it's not going to spin with the shaft, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So you don't want that. So yeah, let's get this faceplate off. And just like that, the gasket came off with it already. Now what you want to do, you want to prep the surface. So you want to remove all the old gasket, clean it up, make sure this looks nice. If there's a little bit left like that, that's fine. It's not gonna matter that much. But you want to clean it up the best you can. And just because of that, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more. If you have a buffer tool, not a buffer tool, a polisher that you can attach straight to a grinder or a drill, that will work perfectly. That's what I have that I use to clean this, but I don't have it on me right now. It's at my house. Here's the part number. Looks like this. Literally just gonna go like that. Just like that. New O-ring. And what you want to do, you want to grease up this new O-ring. It's gonna be hard to stick by itself, so if you put a little bit of grease on it, it'll help it keep it in place while you put the impeller on and all that. Now there's many ways you could do this. People say you have to use soapy water to place the impeller, or it has to be grease. It could honestly be whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as you grease them up, especially like the new bolts and all that, that's all that matters, to be honest. And next you want to get some oil, or not oil, my bad, some grease, and you want to grease up this part a little bit and this part on the bottom. Here's the part number. Okay, you get this new impeller. You see how this side has no holes on it, but when you flip it over, you see the little hole for the key entry right there. You're gonna get that key that we were talking about, which I have right here, and you're gonna wanna grease up the hole where the key goes into, so it holds it in place. You wanna grease up that tiny hole where the grease or the key goes into, and you're gonna place the key inside. That should be good. But whenever your engine's running, this is spinning, right? When this is spinning, the water's pushed up in here, and these fins shoot the water up into the block, and that's how it cools it. What we're gonna do next, we already got our greased up O-ring and all this. We're gonna push this in. Okay, so you're gonna wanna push down on this and then twist clockwise. That way the impeller will spin and it'll just fit in. As I was pushing down on this, I was twisting this clockwise. All right, I just got all the bolts on. You want to do a cross pattern. So snug them all up first, and then tighten this one, then that one. So that way it creates even pressure. And don't over tighten them, because this is a little plastic housing, so this could easily break or you could strip. So don't tighten them too much. And so now to put the lower unit back on, we're gonna grease up this. You wanna grease up, put a little bit of grease in the water pickup too. Or not the water pickup, the water tube. And then you wanna grease this up a little bit, right? Grease this up. But don't put grease on the top of this, just put on the sides. And then after that, just slide it right in. All right guys, now we come to the oil change part. I already got the shift shaft linked up and everything. If you want to make sure if it's working, put the shifter in forward, and if it locks up like this, then that's in gear. Put it back in neutral. Once you put it back in neutral, if it freely spins both sides, you're good. Put it in reverse. When you put it in reverse, it should lock up again. And that's how you know if your shift shaft is properly put on. So this is the oil filter. We're gonna drain the oil first. You need an Allen key. Goes right in here. You're gonna crack this bolt. Be ready, because oil is gonna start spilling everywhere. Once that's done, as it's draining, as it's about to be almost done draining, you're gonna start taking off the oil filter. When the oil is done draining, you put the plug back in, and it has this little washer on it that is a one-time use. You're supposed to replace it every time. It'd be a fill port. It's usually a yellow cap. It could be whatever type of cap. There's a fill port where you add oil to your engine. It depends on your manual. You have to check your service manual how many quarts of oil you need and the type of oil. But when you pull out the dipstick, there's two indentations of where the oil is supposed to be. It has to be in the middle of those two indentations, and after that you should be fine. Run the engine a couple times and it'll cycle the oil and see if you have to add more and take